Here we go. All right, I think. Yep. Yep. Hello there. Is it me you're looking for? Perhaps. I restarted a whole bunch of stuff this morning, so it might be just a little bit wonky. But we're going to do our best, I reckon. So, but it is 6:42 a.m. on Thursday, May the 8th, in the year of our Lord, 2025. Yeah, nope, that looks like somebody needs to clean the camera. Because it's a little dirty. Bam. All right. So I turned everything on. Now I'm just going to open up YouTube and do the thing. So yesterday, if you are looking, I'm not sure if anyone's even in here yet, but if you are looking, I did not get very much done yesterday. I took a kind of day off, which is, it wasn't a full day off. Let me rephrase that. I took a day to kind of rest, and that was very good. I kind of got my head kind of cleared, so I'm now feeling a lot better about where to go, where to move forward from here. Yes. Okay, so this has taken a fuck ton of time, but I am going to finish this hopefully today. It is a pretty intense little bit of labor here, but I'm excited about that. Hopefully get that done. I don't want to talk too much, just planning, because I want to get into what I'm going to work on this. I don't want this to turn into nothing but me talking at the camera for an hour every morning. That's what I don't want this to be. I do think that it will be a good platform like this, the little morning hobby hangs, to just kind of check in and say what I'm working on this day and what I'm working on overall. And that's kind of what it's been. So I just took yesterday to kind of refocus and realign my mental space with what I'm trying to do and my end goals and what I need to accomplish to do those. So that is something that absolutely is essential in planning, is taking the time to step away and look at what you are doing. Make sure that at intervals that you are still moving according to plan. So, are we moving according to plan? Yes. We're doing pretty darn good. Doing pretty damn good, if I say so myself. We are at May 8th, March, April. So we are a month and 8 days in, and I'm feeling very confident in my plans and in my methods of how I want to do things. I'm aware that you guys are probably still just like, but Eli, we haven't seen anything, really other than that first video you posted and all these live videos. And that is true. I am not putting that as my main priority. My main priority is getting everything that I need to do what I want to do in goal done. So yes, once I have more done physically, I will be doing more things digitally as far as making more content for this YouTube. There is just a large amount of physical work that has to be done before I get to do that spot. And looking at where we are, I'm feeling very, very, very good. Yesterday, just kind of took stock of where we're at in the overarching project of the Grimdark Distillery as a whole. And yeah, so I'm not going to keep ranting and circle jerk about that. I'm feeling very, very good where we are. I'm feeling very good about the games that I have decided on that I'm wanting to devote time and work to. I'm very happy with all of them. I think they are going to scratch all of the itches that I have had, that I was able or attempting to try and fill with Games Workshop's IP. I think the games that I have found offer me more freedom to do whatever I want, as well as to allow me to actually contribute, which is the biggest part for me, is knowing that the people who make the game are active and aware in the community enough that they see what I make and can move forward with that if they like the idea, if it fits, and would want to work with me as opposed to already feel like they own my ideas. And that is very much a big thing that I've become okay and used to with how the main company that I'm trying to distance myself from at this point now functions, is that the concept that everything that you come up using their IP belongs to them, and that's fine, but when you really think about what that means in the long run, that's kind of like not awesome. And I'm very, very, very happy that I now think that I have games that scratch all of those same itches that the people that I know who made them, their intention was for me to do what I want to do, which is to take their game and go and run hog wild with it and make whatever I want until my little heart's content. And that if they like it, they will be like, yeah, let's work together on that kind of thing. That's what I want. And I'm just really, really happy that I think I found Flames of Orion. Battletech Flames of Orion was like the last chunk, I think, that I needed to fill, just to figure out what to do with all my Titanica stuff. So it feels good, man. So today, what are we doing today? What's today's plan? I've got to get my shop in better order. I don't think that is a today thing, because these are really fucking heavy. My monkey feet. These are really heavy. And they are going essentially 15 feet and then turning 180 degrees, and they are going to be right there as a wall. You all are not going to believe this, but if you've been following around long enough, you will see the episode where I made a little layout of my basement, and I cut out shapes so I would be able to map where everything would fit in my basement. It's a similar concept to that. However, it's just flipped, where these now go in the middle of my basement as opposed to the side, and they become a wall. The middle of my house is where, like, essentially the backbone is. So these 18-inch deep cabinets will go into the middle of that, which means that I don't have to make as much of a wall, fake wall, whatever wall. I only have to make half of a wall on the other side, which is where typically, if you're watching and Kelly is playing Tomb Raider or something, that's where our couch is. But the idea is to separate our basement in half, almost. Put the wall there, and then my spray booth will go right here. My spray booth is a 4x8 by 78-inch high. It's like just a little over 6 feet, I think. Yeah, that's just a little over 6 feet. Yeah, 6 foot, 6.5 feet. Yeah, that'd be 6.5 feet. It's 6.5 feet tall, so it goes to right about here, from the same area. So it's essentially going to be like a big L. But what that's going to do is that is going to allow me to have a spray booth. Two, in the past year, we've had to do a whole bunch of stuff to our house, like maintenance-wise. One of the big things was we had to get our chimney worked on. So that was the thing that we did. So they came and they redid our chimney. This all tracks. It all adds up, I promise. And then we also had to, we redid our entire HVAC system. That was a big thing. that I've always been paranoid about. And this is, I promise this is all connected. My shop is down here, so it's having a asbestos possibly coated HVAC ducting running all through my house was a big thing. So we had to get that replaced. When they replaced that, they updated the HVAC, so it now no longer vents the same way that it used to, which is up through our chimney. This is where it all connects. Because I bought a spray booth when I was working on the Distillery, I knew, given how big everything is and how much I would be spraying, I did not want to be going in and out, in and out, in and out of my back door, which is up the stairs. So you gotta go up the stairs, through the kitchen, out the back door, into the backyard where I like to spray like 20, actually it's not 20, it's like 45 feet. I spray about 45 feet into my backyard because I don't like to spray near my house. So I have a little like cleaned out area in the back. I mean, my backyard's pretty, this is the space in my backyard. It's just utterly devoid. It's where you could put a pool. It's just open, empty space. I cleared out my backyard entirely whenever we bought the house, so we would be able to do whatever we wanted with it. And now it's just a big open area. It used to be like a forest. So the ducting for our HVAC system, the vent went up my chimney, and then obviously out. However, because they no longer use the same kind of venting system, when they redid the HVAC, they did that after they did the chimney. So the chimney has been redone and it's very nice, all that stuff up top. I don't know anything about chimney. I paid someone who does. So, the company. Down here on my side, though, they have the old pipe that went into our foundation wall and then up the chimney to dispel the HVAC fumes. I am just going to take that and connect my spray booth, my fume hood room, essentially, to that pipe because it uses the same pipe as a dryer duct. It's and that is where I'm going to vent all of the poisonous, toxic fumes out of my house, right out of my chimney at the very top. So I don't have to put a hole in my house again after moving over here. And I didn't pay for all the stuff, like the replacement shit that they did to my chimney before I got my HVAC replaced. So I'm pretty excited about that. Mainly, though, it gives me a 4x8 room in the middle of my shop, which, if you don't know my shop layout, it's just pretty much just a 12x20 room. Having a 4x8 room, it makes it to where I can now set my printers, which I've been trying to have in a ventilated area for a very long time. That's very key. Safety. I can have them always in the spray booth, so my family does not have to have any interaction with resin fumes whatsoever, which is very important for me. It also means that I can use my enamels and my awful, you smell them, you're like, yep, that'll kill you, kind of paints. Being able to spray that right over there, 5 feet from where I'm sitting right now, as opposed to having to go upstairs every single time, is going to be a game changer on productivity and output. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. That means that those won't be there. My spray booth will be in there. There's going to be a lot of layout change and functionality change, and I'm really looking forward to that. That also means that I will have more time, hopefully, to work on getting the setup for where we are going to be doing our solo RPGs, as well as any kind of reviews or anything like that I feel like doing. My vision for this area is this is my shop. This is where I make the things, and then I want to have a very nice, very presentable place to showcase it, a studio, and that is the section over there. So I'm really excited about that. I've been yapping. That's what I do, baby. I'm a professional yapper. Don't try it at home. I'm going to... Oh, I also didn't cover this. I will post this. I'll probably post it in the Discord first. But I want to make sure that I am Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm on. Not chat. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I did post everything because switching things up with OBS and how it's recording and how it's putting things out. Okay, just want to make sure. Always makes me feel a little paranoid that I've got it messed up. So, with all of that said, you guys probably already remember. I'll show you the little thing, but this is the wall mount from Elgato. I've purchased 3 more of these. Well, 2 more. I already had an extra one. That is literally what is holding the camera right now. That is holding this as well as my lights. So I will be able to take this the way that these work. Again, if you guys don't know or are still interested, you unscrew that part, you unscrew this part. And I'm showing that just because I love these. They're very fun. So I love that there are products out there made for people that are like, oh yeah, and then I'll move this over here. Just a quick little clamp here, a quick little clamp there, and now I'm ready to film over here. I love ingenuity, ingenious designs. So here we go. This is I didn't know these even fucking existed, which is super rad to find out that they exist, and when you find out that they exist, that they're on clearance. But I got this at the craft store that I went to yesterday. That's weird. I bet it's just like, yep, that's just where I touched down. It's where it's touching that. So, I went and I purchased another hot glue gun because I needed to have 2 at the moment, but now I don't really. So, this one's kind of, it's good to have 2 hot glue guns if you got 2 people in your house that can help you with something that takes a very long time. So, I'm pretty much going to be working on this morning until I get it done, I think. I've been spending the past couple days in the mornings trying to get this out as quickly as possible, but also trying to do like 6 or 7 different things all at the same time. And while that is something that I am able to do in some regards, it's not the best way to go about working. Like, working in a very frantic state, it can make, you can have a lot of output. However, it is absolutely exhausting on the body. And that is a lesson from myself, to myself, and any of you listening that are like, man, hey, I feel like I don't get X amount done. It's like, oh yeah, I'm exhausted. I look at the amount that I've gotten done in the past month and 8 days, and it staggers everything that I've done for a long time. And I think it's because I'm finally moving with purpose, because I know what I want to do, and I know exactly how I want to present what I'm going to present. And that is the biggest hang up I've always had with my hobby, my art, my love of this kind of stuff, is just, woke up late. That's okay, my sweet, sweet little possum. Welcome. I've been yapping. I've started the app. The app is, it's open. You pour out a cold glass of yap. I kind of was just going on and on about, I kind of took yesterday to recenter, realign, get back in the, hey, what is my goal? What am I working towards? And that's very key. I think I've been going real fast, real hard, trying to just like, okay, I need to do this all at the same time. And I've not really slowed down to look at the progress that I've made, or any of that kind of stuff, which is very important, because that means that I've not gotten any kind of like fulfillment or like like, oh, hey, you're doing a good job, Eli. Again, that is important. Like, we need to give that to ourselves. I am worth telling myself that I'm doing a good job. And so are you all. So, with that said, I am trying to knock out this rooftop stuff that I've been working on for a couple of days now. But today I think is the day. I think we need to get this thing done, and we need to get the show on the road. So yesterday took the time to, I think, just kind of clear my head and actually relax and rest. On the weekends, I typically, while I am resting, I'm also thinking, what do I need to get done right now? So taking a day to just be like, hey, let's just fucking calm down and relax. Don't worry about it. Was very, very, very helpful. I feel very recharged, and I feel like I have a newfound, not purpose, but a newfound like energy. I'm energized, and we got our our journey through the old dying world today with our character in Merkborg. So I'm going to spend time working on that. I'm very excited. I want to make sure that I'm putting that out at the quality that I want it to be. And I'm often paranoid that it's just me yapping at a camera and I'm not actually entertaining. I worry about things like that. But I don't think that's going to be the case. And I know that if I spend today working on some actual like prep for tonight, that is a very good use of my time. Even though I need to get this done, it does not take precedence over making sure that everybody gets a good bit of entertainment, including myself, from Merkborg, which means that we have to take the time and do the prep for it. Because if we don't, who will? That's right. We've got to be the change that we want to see in the world and in our own lives. That last part's really hard. That last part's really actually kind of the hardest one. And if you are like thinking that, I'm aware. I'm aware that that's the hardest one. It's really hard. It's really hard, like coming to terms, like if you're like, oh hey, I need to work on this thing about myself. It's really easy. No, let me rephrase that. It's really easy to find problems with yourself, at least for me. I could, oh boy, we had enough time, I could find all the things I don't like about myself. We'd be here all day. And I say that, but I'm saying that kind of jokingly. Good morning, Eric. Wonderful to see you. Hopefully you slept well. Hopefully you slept. Some people don't sleep. Vampires. No, vampires sleep during the day. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, my little tangent this morning is all about, hey, be nice to yourself and take the time every now and then to reaffirm what your goals are, realign, recenter. That is kind of what my mental state is at this morning. I'm feeling recharged after a day where I fought it. I'll tell you that. I did not want to. That's it. We are so programmed, and especially now, like the world right now, it really is programmed to make you think that you do not have the time for yourself, that you have to do other things right now and that they are more important. And while that is, it's context, it's all context. And I know that this may be something that not everybody needs to hear, but I know I need to hear it. So I need to say it because, me a couple days ago needed to hear it. Me for the past like month and 8 days needed to hear it. Rome was not built in a fucking day. Like, it takes time. It takes time to do anything. And I know that I am a person that I expect perfection from myself, even though I know that it is completely and utterly unachievable. I know that I expect myself to have a standard that is higher than I'm able to physically do, but also I don't know why I have it. I think that's it. It's the The know thyself. I've been really hung up on that. Nosc ipsum is the Latin phrase of know thyself, and I believe it was the temple of, I want to say it's Athena or Apollo. I don't remember which one, but supposedly nosc te ipsum, which is know thyself in Latin, was etched above the doorway when you walked into the temple, and that is one of my favorite, idioms. I'm going to use this monologue when I roll into work late in a few minutes. I'm sorry. But maybe not. Maybe I'm just slowly going to put together a huge portfolio of phrases you should use to let them know that the bourgeoisie is not fucking happy. And we are getting ready to sharpen the people's razor. I'm all about that life. I can't stress though. I am about that life. I'm very much like, yep, let's drag them out in the streets. Let's fix this shit. I don't want to be, and that's not the right answer. And it's taken me, I think, 37 years to like realize that like the part of me that's willing to do the monstrous things to fix the world, like that's really heavy to think about, but it's just because I want the world to act like how it's told me it's supposed to. I want the world to pretend like it plays with the same rules that it's told me that I have to my whole life. But I can say the bourgeois is not happy. The proletariat peasant is late for his scheduled shift. Yeah, the proletariat. Sorry, I think I might. Yeah, the bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie. That would be the. Yeah, that's the elite. Is the bourgeoisie. The proletariat. That'd be us. Sorry, I got them switched up. It's still morning. I am waking up. But I've been awake for a little bit. I don't mean to use being sleepy as a clutch or crutch. But no, I'm just thinking that I finally have come to the conclusion that it's just like, man, the part of me that's like, yeah, drag them out in the streets, hang them like that. I don't want to be that. Like the wrath of me. Like I don't want to have that. And that is, I think that's probably like, shit. I mean, it's been months now. Not months. It's been like a month and 8 days since I've been doing this. Well, I started doing this in February, which that was another thing that it's just like, man, I've been doing this for like 3 months. That's not 3 months entirely. The 11th is like the first day that I had to like change. So February 11th is when I started doing the broadcasts. So that's kind of fun. It's been definitely helpful for me, I think, having this outlet, and I absolutely am excited to see where this goes. So proletariat, bourgeoisie, I was going there with something. It had to do with do what makes you happy. It had to do with don't let the world. That's it. Yesterday I was beating myself up. I woke up, we took a nap, and I woke up, which naps are a hard thing for me in general. Sleep is a hard thing. Sleep is hard. It's always been hard. I don't sleep normally. I'm a very, 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 very heavy sleeper. I don't let the bastard try and do that. That's it, man. Like you have to have a mental wall. And I don't mean like a mental wall, like you gotta put up that wall, because that's wrong. That is not the answer. I can tell you that. I don't have the answers, but I can tell you my experiences, and I lived, almost my entire life with a wall. Like I didn't want to let anybody in, because it's just like, when you get hurt enough, you put up a wall and you shut down parts of yourself, like to try and keep safe. It's just survival. It just is what it is. And you can live like that for so long without even realizing that you've done it. That's the fucked up part. So, yeah, don't let the bastards grind you down. That really is it. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Don't do things out of spite. It's very easy, especially for me. Wrath. I don't subscribe to any other religious kind of beliefs. I personally, I think the seven deadly sins are not a good way to gauge the bad within you. I understand kind of where they're going, but I don't think I'm religious enough to fully get enough out of them. Whereas like the gods, the four gods, the four winds in chaos, I find from Warhammer, I find a little bit more relatable with them because they are a little bit more distilled. Greed and gluttony, I've never been able. Greed and gluttony are the same sin, and so is envy. Greed, gluttony, and envy are all. It's just your actions that the sin. I just think that's it. I think that when the concepts of sin were made, not enough about our brains was known, and that's really what I was getting at with all of my rants. Everything comes down to communication it is the single most important thing, and we do not have it. Period. Like, we do not have the means to communicate properly with each other. And I get it now, which, it's kind of funny, but that's the whole idea about Gundam, that franchise, is new types. Like when our species leaves this planet and we make it to space, we develop these other ways of communicating with one another and understanding. We evolve to be able to see a bigger picture, essentially. And new types are people that are able to see that bigger picture and able to communicate with each other in a way that allows for no misunderstandings. It's almost like a soul bond, like a soul touch, like a little touch. Okay, we're on the same page because I know what you want on a core level. And that's the kind of concept that I'm kind of talking about. Communication is just so fucking hard. It's very hard, and knowing the way to communicate with everybody is impossible. Our language is it's very funny. It's very funny if you actually think about it. And I think that's my biggest issue. Is I've been aware that I am a piece of meat in a bone mech covered in flesh armor my entire life. And I don't think other people understand that. It's just like, yeah, no, you're just a bunch of meat in there. You only think that because that little meat thinks that, and I think that because this meat thinks this. What we're perceiving could be completely different context. But when you start thinking about that, the world becomes a very scary place, which is probably also why I was a very frightened child. If you understand how much this world does not really make sense or how crazy it really is, it's extremely overwhelming. It's the desire to have a world that plays by rules that it tells you its rules are. All of my rants, this is a prime RedWetSkeleton tangent. We're like, well, you went crazy. Yeah, we kind of knew around then. My sermon, my tangent, it's all about slow down and think about why you do the things that you do, why they make you happy, how important things really are. Appreciate the things that really and truly are important. And don't lose sight of what you're actually trying to do for the sake of output. Because that's what the world is. The world, at this point, too much of the world does not understand how it works. But they understand enough of the equation to know that output. Young man, I don't want to take you to see Grandma. My middleest son, he's trying to climb in the crawl space. And so just so you know, the crawl space in my house, right about here, this is where it starts. Like, this is the height that it starts. So it's from here down. I have a concrete floor. So if you jump from there, even if you are a little kitty, it's not good on your little legs. And at one point in time, my son Oliver was dicking around in the crawl space, and he jumped down and he hurt his little leg, and then he had to go see his grandma, who runs the animal hospital. That would be Kelly's mom. So that's where my little snap was. You don't want to go see Grandma. My mom is referred to as Shanae. That was a thing that my mom requested very, very early in my life, was that she did not want to be referred to as a grandma. She didn't want to be referred to as a grandma because that implied that she was old. She wanted to be Shanae because that implied that she was cool. And I'm not going to have kids. So, well, I mean, I have kids. I have 3 wonderful, fluffy little children. But we all call her their Nene, and they know Nene. Like when we say, your Nene's coming over, they know who Nene is, and they know who Grandma is. Grandma is Kelly's mom. Grandma comes over with shots. And I don't mean like party shots. I mean like it's time to get your all's shots. They don't like when Grandma comes. My mom is actually one of the very few people on this planet that Oliver not only is okay with, but he really likes my mom. And I think it's because she only speaks to him in like perpetual baby voice and only tells him that he's her favorite because he spends 99% of his day in our bed. He just likes to do buckwheat things. He's just different. He's great. He's great. I love all my kids. But yeah, so don't let the world beat you down. Because yeah, it's a grind. Even the things that you love, like, are capable of doing that. And that's really what my tangent was I've been working very, very, very hard to try and keep all this in my head and keep all of this moving forward. And I want to make sure that I present it in the way that's how I've wanted to in my head and not cut any corners. And it's just like, okay, well, then you got to kind of slow down, dude. Like, if you work on this until it's just done, if you just power through it, your brain is going to be fried and you're not going to get anything else done the rest of that day. Also, because of how monumental of a task it is, and just pacing wise, I can't stress enough. That's one of the things that I've prided myself on as far as like, oh, hey, this is a thing that you should learn how to train your brain to do, is grinding, like a mental grind. And at one point in time, I like prided myself on that. And it's just like, I don't ever want to be like, hey, I can do this. So if you give me enough money, I'll do it for you. Because I don't enjoy doing it. It's more of a, I can do it if I have to. And the most, I don't even know how many at this point in time, but the equivalent to this that I've done in a professional standpoint was, when my company was purchased by a larger company, I had to make a spreadsheet that detailed every single bit of our entire company, like from a technical standpoint, what they needed to like envelop it into theirs. And I built it all in a spreadsheet. It was, I mean, thousands upon thousands of lines that I manually entered, because if any of it is wrong, it will not work. And the computer will not understand that it's wrong. And that's when I talk about using AI for things. There's certain things that I will use AI for, and then I have to do it myself, because when you understand that the world, there's so many, and this is all connected. I promise I'm not just ranting. The world is so connected. The problems that AI has are the same problems that we have. AI has them because the people that made it do not think the way that I do, or that you do, or that other people do in some situations. And that is why AI can only get where it is, because not all of us think the same. Our brains are not the same. So you're trying to create an artificial brain when you don't even fully understand our brain. And these aren't just like my opinions. Like, this is like fact. We only know so much about the human body. It's, if you ever are like, man, how are we doing? Just take a bit of time and go and look up how much they actually know about like the reproductive system from either sex. It's really disappointing. It'll make you be like, wow, we should just kind of like go back to looking into that, don't you think, instead of fucking around with space? Like, there's just so much about our bodies that we do not understand. Like, when I had my appendix out, it was supposedly a useless organ, and now they're like, yeah, it helps you break down proteins in meat. Like, we understand that now, and it's just like, it's very frustrating when you are very aware that the rest of the world does not know what it doesn't know, but it thinks that it does. And what you understand, they don't fully understand, but they think that they do. I hope I explained that in a way that makes kind of sense, and I didn't lose what I was saying halfway through. I'm feeling good this morning as far as talking, so I'd like to think that I'm being pretty clear. But that's it. It's the perspective. All of it comes down to perspective. Is you have your own, I have mine, the person next to you has theirs, the people above you, and whatever job or whatever, they have theirs, and none of them are the same. And then we try to create an artificial mind, and we expect it to be able to think like us, which is just comical because we don't even know how we think. So I find a lot of humor in that, and I'm sure that there was something that I was, I'm everything that I do that involves AI, I double check. And I double check it because everything that I do that involves another human being, I double check because I double check it. I have put so much stress on myself, like with high expectations, and just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm just going to double check it just because I'm just finicky. I know that there are ways that I want things done, but they're all for very specific reasons. And communication is how we are supposed to express this. That's where this all connects back down to, is that communication is our species' weakest link, and it always has been. And I don't see that it's gotten any better. I hope that it has, but I don't see that it has because of our language. And that's, our language is made, it's a bastardized version of another language that we keep bastardizing further. And I mean that in the truest sense. And the things that I love about English as a language, I love them because I think it really does summarize it summarizes what I think of humanity as a whole. It's not good. I think English is just like, as far as communicating ideas and everything, it's just like, yeah, it is gutter talk. I really do think that our language, how it works in comparison with other languages, is as stripped down and primal as you could make it. And it still is just, our words do not work to convey what we mean, because we've changed what they've meant so much. There's context. There's just so much. So I got on a huge rant this morning about communication and trying to do that. So why am I doing that? It's really hard to communicate. It's really hard to communicate with other people. You should make sure that you are communicating with yourself. That is what this tangent, this sermon, this crazy rant that I am on this morning is about. Despite being where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I've experienced ego death. That's, to some extent, yes, to some extent, no, because, I mean, I'm still here, so technically I exist, so the ego cannot be dead. However, the concept of me as an individual, of me and who I am, and me and what I do and what I'm capable of, that has changed a lot in the past, year. Communication is difficult, and we need to decouple from the corporate machine. Got it. That's it, Possum. I didn't mean to just take an hour to talk about that or rant and rave. Sorry, guys. I absolutely, it was meant to be a get out there and kick today's ass. But be good to yourself. That is what I was trying to get to. I am perpetually stuck on the why. That is something that I've seen people say about like my art and my hobbies, is that I think more about the why than other people do in this hobby. And I'd say that that's probably fair. I'm happily to take that, because I think why about everything. I do that about everything, and if I don't understand why about it, then I can only be so engaged, and I can only be so passionate, and I can only be so me, if I don't understand the why. And if I do understand the why and I disagree with it, then it's almost impossible. It is just almost impossible for me to sign up for like the thing that I don't believe in. I can't. It's really, 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 really hard for me to do that. Damn near impossible at this point now. So I've just been talking and talking and talking. But what I'm pretty much getting at is I've got a lot done in the past month and 8 days. And I beat myself up about that. But I shouldn't. And you all should not beat yourselves up about what you have not gotten done. You should instead take a moment to really think about what you have done in that time. What did you do instead of doing that? What would you do different? What could you do to help yourselves accomplish those goals? And that's communication with yourself is extremely difficult for me. I don't know if it is for everyone else, but it's harder than communicating with anyone else, which is already very, very, very hard. But the fact that I am very aware that for the longest time I've had such a negative opinion of myself, I don't want to treat myself nice. But any time that I'm able to trick myself into, oh, well, what if this was for Kelly or Possum or Eric or anyone else? It's like, oh, well, I would tell them blank, 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 blank. And it's just like, if I tell myself that, it's just like, oh, I see, I'm fucked up. Okay, I get it. And it's just that. I'm aware of this. But that is like a mental health like concern. Like, don't do that. And I need to not do that. So I felt the need to talk about that. I've not celebrated what I have gotten done in this month because I do not have anything that is fully done. But that is part of how I work. So I'm just asking you guys to bear with me and put up with the not finished state of things for just a little bit longer. I promise it will be worth it. The town of Grimdale is coming along very, very, very nicely. It is very, very populated at this point. We're on the farmhouse. We've got one more part of the farmhouse to print today, and then it's done. The church, finished the church. I don't think I've shown it. It is fuck huge. I'm gonna do my best, and I didn't do well. I'll do my best to carry it over here to show you guys without knocking down the top. But still got to glue the church parts in place. However, I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. It's a very, very, very large building. Supposedly, they say the biggest in Grimdale. And I guess they would be right because they designed the whole damn thing. But here it is. That's a big old baby. Oh no, my things. So, we got that going. I'm excited about that church. Working on finishing this up today. Going to be spending time working on the Merkborg, our Merkborg playthrough. I'm going to be doing campaign work on that today. That is, I think, probably my biggest focus today is going to be that. While project-wise, you may not have it 100% complete. You've completed a number of fantastic streams, and I think you're continuing to improve your streams every day, and that is celebration worthy. Thank you, Possum. That's wonderful. No, and it's that. Hearing you say that makes me feel good. Reminding, and like, when someone shows me something that they've worked on, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, hey, I feel that. I feel the desire to tell them things that I know will make them feel good, that I mean. I don't blow smoke up people's asses. I am incapable of that, actually. Eric can attest to that. I am, you know what I think? I do not have a poker face. I just don't. I never developed one. I'm a really bad liar, which I guess is a good thing. Because I don't want to be a good liar. So, yeah, no, they're not 100% done, but they are getting where they need to be in order for me to launch the Grimdark Distillery, this little world that I'm wanting to share with everybody. They are where they're needing to be. So no, I very, very much appreciate that. And I really appreciate you guys helping me find the other games that I have stumbled into between Trench Crusade and BattleTech. 1490 Doom, actually, I think that one, I think that one's probably Cody. But so many things like that I'm like, man, I love this. Like I've come from this channel and my Discord, just people being like, hey, I think you'd really like this. And you're like, well, shit, you're right. I love that. Farewell to Arms. Fuck, is so good. Farewell to Arms Redux, the Merkborg Squeakle. It's good. I'm gonna be honest. So here's the thing that's just been in my head, and I can't unthink about it. I'm pretty sure I was ranting about making a game that involved little fluffy animals and trenches and stuff. And this was during my my hating on Trench Crusade thing. I can't unhear this, so I have to mention it. Because I'm like, am I going crazy? Did that happen? Is he talking about me? I hope not. But at one point in time, I remember kind of ranting about making my own version of a game with lots of trenches when I was upset about Trench Crusade. And I was just like, and it's going to have little fluffy cute animals in it and trenches, and it's going to be brutal as hell. I'm going to do my own thing. And I watched the presentation of Trench Crusade, and he's like, Tomas mentioned something about like people commenting on it and said something about, you know, if you want to make a game with little fluffy animals, it's not really our game. It's not really the same thing. And I'm just like, I hope that he didn't listen to me bitch about Trench Crusade. Huh. But I can't unthink that, because I'm just like, who else was talking about making a game of trench warfare with little fluffy animals? I wouldn't imagine there were many, but I also don't want to be too full of myself and think that he was talking about me. But also, I'm really like that's not good. That's not a good look. So that was a thought that I had that I just can't kind of get out of my head. I'm like, huh. But I don't even remember what I said. That's the other thing, is that I'm really glad that you guys have enjoyed these streams. I have not watched any of them because I was talking through them all. But when people will say, oh, hey, the other day on your stream, Tomas is gonna fucking suplex you, dog. Dude, he could. So maybe he could. Tomas is not as big as I thought he was. I thought that Tomas, like, looking at pictures, I was like, man, he's a big guy. He's smaller than I am. He's got some muscles. And I think a lot of it has to do with the kind of clothes you wear. I've noticed that if I wear a sleeveless shirt, every now and then I'll be like talking to the camera. I'll be looking. I'll be like, I'm looking pretty good. I look like I got some muscles. Look at me go. But yeah. Yeah, no, he probably could. He probably could fucking suplex. Tomas is gonna fucking suplex you, dog. I hope not. I hope Tomas knows that I absolutely love Trench Crusade. So hopefully that was not taken. Hopefully that was not a reference to me. I hope it wasn't a reference to me. Because I like Tomas. Now, if that's anything that like Games Workshop wants to do, where they're like, oh yeah, if you want to do blank, yeah, you can go ahead and be aware that I'm talking shit. You fucking earned it. You earned that shit plate. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. That is a horrible thing that I said about somebody in a part of my life that I'm not very happy about. I was not a nicer person. At one point in time, something bad happened to someone. I said it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. I used to not be the nicest person, but I'm working on it. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. I think it is 7:36 because it is. I'm looking at a clock. That is Eastern Standard Time, AM. I am probably going to stop it here in just a few minutes. We have 4 minutes, so I should probably have my summarizing of thoughts here. Thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble and bamble and babble. Did I ever show you guys the bell tower that I made? So this has been sitting out. I know that's kind of a very, 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 very big jump. I made this for Visterion, and it's just been sitting out on the side of my room. It's very big. So the reason I'm saying this now when I have 3 minutes, so I keep looking at this thing. Sitting on top of my ruins box. I have all of the ruins, the rest of the city, in like a big Rubbermaid, except that because it does not fit because it is huge. And it's supposed to be much, 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 much taller. The middle. I'll hold it up like this so you can see. Oh no! So this is the big axle. This is the big axle at the top of a clock tower or a bell tower. This would be what holds the chain, and there is a chain. I bought chain. That's the right length to be connected. This is supposed to be the part of the bell tower directly underneath where the bells are, and one of the bells has fallen through the floor and brought down one of the axles that like holds the chain, and this bell has fallen and landed sideways, and I used a bouncy ball. I think, Eric, you might actually watch me play with this bouncy ball at work for a little while, and then I glued it here to use as the little thing that knocks the bell. This eventually, I think, will be the foundation or part of a very big church for Trench Crusade, like where the Hellmouth opened. If I keep working on that, I don't know. I was just looking at that and I'm just like, I don't know if I ever showed you guys this. It's a really big building that I only made so much progress on because, again, I made too much stuff for Visterion, and I might be doing the same thing for Trench Crusade, but Trench Crusade will be in my house, and like the whole Crusade's in my house. It will be here. I don't have to like drive to Texas, and I'm also not racing the clock. I am technically racing the clock, but aren't we all? Okay, for a second I thought you laid a lollipop in there. It does kind of look like a lollipop. I've thought that myself. And now that I'm saying it, no, I remember now. It's rubber. I might have to take that thing out. I'm going to have to take that thing out. We're going to have to use something else. It's rubber. So that also will tell you when I made that. I made that almost a year ago. I had a whole lot more rubber stuff. Ah! Sorry, it scared me. Whoa, 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 whoa. There's a person at my door 20 minutes ago. It's probably the person bringing... Aha! It is. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell in your guys' ears. So, I purchased... Yep, there's my package right there on my front porch. BB's coffee. Yeah, so it's coffee time. Also, the mailman, somebody just put a package on my porch, which is a foam wire cutter. Like that is like you use your hand, not like you put the foam. I messed up and I did not cut everything to shape the way I wanted to before I glued it, which is what I will do next time. Next building, oh boy, I'm gonna cut all those bricks. Thank you, Possum. Thank you, Possum, Eric. Thank you, everybody that's watching this later on. Thank you for giving me your time. Hopefully you don't mind my rants and my raves. If you're still here, I guess you kind of like them. But no, I just want to make sure I need to be better about being kind to myself. So I want to push that forward. You know, you guys make sure that you're being kind to yourselves too, and make sure that you take the time to think about what you've gotten done in your life recently. And if you haven't done anything to like make yourself happier or to make you feel like, man, I'm feeling good, like take some time to actually think about what you want to change and what you need to change. But yeah, it's a lot. The world's a lot. Take care. Do your best. I'm proud of you all. Yeah, that's really it. That's it. Thank you guys so much for your time. Sit pretty, and I will talk to you all later. Tonight is we got to come up with a name for it, but we will be going back to the dying world with Merkborg in our solo play at 7 Eastern. So I will make posts. I'll put things. I am going to work on making like a schedule to have it like posted somewhere. But today I'll be more productive. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Take care.